Let's look at the funk.
Could you stop playing with that radio of yours? I'm trying to get to sleep. Could you stop playing with that radio of yours? I'm trying to get to sleep. Could you stop? Could you stop? I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to get to.
Let's look at the funk.
Could you stop playing with that radio of yours? Could you stop playing with that radio of yours? I'm trying to get to sleep. I'm trying to get to sleep. Playing with that.
Hello and welcome to another episode of CRT Sound System. I'm here with episode 85 and we're finally going to fucking talk about Jet Set Radio. We've been threatening to do it for probably since the start. Much like a lot of episodes we've been doing recently, actually, we've been really going through the bucket list episodes. I'm here with Reese, as always. Reese, how are you?
I'm doing great. We've been threatening to do this since before the podcast even existed. We were just like, we are going to release documents about how much we love Jet Set Radio.
Absolutely. And we've got a guest with us, Justin from XVGM Radio. Justin, how are you doing?
I'm doing really well. I'm super excited to be here because this game and this music rocks. And I'm so glad to hear that this is something you've been planning since before we ever even started, because these games absolutely need more focus on them, in my opinion.
Yeah, thanks for joining us for the this celebration of joy.
Yeah, like we've definitely touched on these games before. We've talked about. I've played one track on the Richard Jacques episode, and we talked a little bit about it when we did Sonic Rush. So, like, yeah, we've sort of again talked around it a bit. But Justin, if you just want to maybe tell the listeners a little bit about Jet Set Radio, what it is, and why it's so special.
Oh, that'd be my pleasure. So Jet Set Radio or Jet Grind Radio, depending on where you live and what you've heard, or what game you're talking about too, it gets a little confusing. But it's a Dreamcast game that came out back in the 2000s, I think June of 2000 actually. And it's more or less like a rollerblading simulator game with attitude is how I like to describe it. But yeah, you take on the role of these people who are kind of part of a a gang, we'll say, and your objective is to, kind of take over the streets that have been taken over by rival gangs, put your graffiti up over their graffiti, and in general just ride on these awesome, technically they're powered rollerblades. Like
Mm.
I don't know the details, but they're not just going on their own volition. Like they are powered, so they can get up to crazy speeds, grind on rails, do tricks, and run from the cops.
Yeah, absolutely, and spray paint the cops as well if you're feeling a bit
Yeah.
funky. Yeah, this is probably like one of the quintessential Dreamcast games. Like,
Oh yeah.
I think it's like probably one of the top 2 or 3 games that you'll think of when you think of the Dreamcast. It's so
Yeah, were it not for Crazy Taxi's insane influence, this would be the Dreamcast game.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's funny. Like the games that I think of with the Dreamcast are Crazy Taxi, Jet Set Radio, and Choo Choo Rocket.
This will always be in my heart, Jack Grind Radio.
Yep.
I played so much of this game when I kind of just got it on a whim. Like some magazine was like, "This was cool," and I'm like, "As you command, I will buy it," and I loved it. It's sorry. I have to tell a quick story before I move on, and we get to proper discussion. I had this awful roommate in college, and the way I learned he was an awful roommate is he was showing me some awful game. It's like some Medal of Honor or something, and I was like, "Oh, this is okay, but let me show you a real game." And I put on Jet Grind Radio Future, and I have never experienced this much anti-Japanese racism. Just talking about a game and being like not liking it. I mean, like, this person doesn't like Jet Grind Radio. They deserve death. And I have
Wow.
that is like I have held on to that memory of this guy just being like, "You motherfucker, showing me Medal of Honor. How could Don?"
That's insane. I've heard of
Anyways,
people enjoying the game, but I've never heard of anybody like going on a racist tirade about it. That is absolutely bonkers.
I did go to college in Boston, so.
I went to college in New York, so oh man, that just blows my mind. It just goes to show you the breadth of people that are ignorant.
Certainly, almost certainly.
Yeah, I suppose you mentioned Jet Set Radio Future, and we'll get to that a bit later. But I think that was my first experience with this with the series. Was the double disc that came with the Xbox with this and Sega GT Rally, I think it was. And yeah, that was definitely it. And then I was like, I had a Dreamcast, but I hadn't seen this game. So then I obviously had to go back and try and track this down. Thankfully, at the time, Dreamcast games were incredibly cheap, so I was able to pick this up. I think I got like a sealed copy on eBay for like €5. It was very cheap. And like, yeah, just put it in and just sort of was blown away completely. And I like, I still think the games are a little bit rough. Like they're a little bit tricky to control. They're not as smooth as something like a Tony Hawk in terms of like doing tricks, and your tricks are quite limited. Because it is more about sort of like navigating the maps and finding like your little graffiti spots and stuff like that, than it is actually about like getting high scores or doing a load of tricks and stuff like that. So like I get that it is a little bit more simplistic in that regard, and that's fine. But like I do think that it doesn't hold up quite as well, unfortunately, as much as the music sort of really is impossible to not enjoy. The music in this series is just through the fucking roof.
100%.
I think even at the time I felt that the gameplay was I was a little bit like, I don't fully get what I'm doing here, but it doesn't matter because it provides, like, the world comes to life through the music, and then sort
Yeah.
of like, you've got these counterculture teens, and you're just like, I don't know, I was very bowled over by the coolness of it all, and then just being like, oh, just the actual skating and stuff, did not. If I wanted that, I would take it out and then put in Tony Hawk. It was, it was just not that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair, and I think for what it lacks in kind of mechanical gracefulness, it makes up for in, I mean, as you said, the music. The story is not too bad. Like I will say, this is one of the few games where like the story should be a throwaway thing, but it actually kind of kept me engaged and like playing and want to keep going in the levels. Which like Tony Hawk, it's like I'm going to play those, do the tricks and whatnot, but there's no real story, or for the ones that I played anyway, I didn't have anything driving me to get to play through the levels other than oh, I really want to unlock this one thing. But the art style as well, and I'm not just talking about the graffiti. This game was I don't know if it was the first, but it was definitely one of the first games to use like cell shaded art for a video
Yeah.
game, and it looks so good. Even you compare it to today's standards and everything else, but when you take into account the fact that this is on a Dreamcast, a system that is 25 years old, and the way that they're doing the art style, it still does look really good.
Yeah, it's a stunning game. Like just in terms of the colors and everything is just like completely like blown out, and like it really sort of emphasizes that sort of the graffiti style to it. Like and I suppose more than anything, it is a graffiti game, I suppose, than it is a skating game, and like even to the point where it opens with that funny the little warning about how graffiti is an artwork, but it's also a crime.
Yeah, graffiti is
Which is like,
vandalism.
don't blame us if you go doing graffiti because of this.
as is
basically.
podcasting.
Mm.
Yeah, at the time when it came out, I hadn't fully processed the fact that 2D pixel art and sort of the other kind of 3D aesthetics would be their own art form. So this was the first time where I felt like, oh, games can be really stylish and have like an artistic voice in a way that I'm sure other games have had, but like this was the game where it's just so brassy and so successful and so cool, and I felt cool as like a little dipshit nerd. It hits so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's just the whole package with it is really hard to sort of deny. And like, yeah, I suppose we'll talk a lot about the music, but I suppose just in general, like the way the music sort of goes along with that in terms of like bringing in a lot of youth culture. Like we talked in in a mini episode, I forget what the name of the game was, but we were talking about like the Shibuya K movement and stuff like that, and how like and like that massively informed this in sort of like say like that sort of youth culture, street culture, a lot of which was sort of being imported from America, like and then sort of being filtered through a Japanese sensibility, which sort of gave it this bit of an uncanny sort of vibe to it as well. But like the music then, most of it is done by Hideki Naganuma, who's sort of famous for the style of music on this, almost as much as the game itself. Like his music is sort of has become its own genre nearly. Like there's an entire internet radio station dedicated just to playing like Jet Set Radio music and music that sounds like Jet Set Radio. I suppose it might be worth talking a little bit about it later as well. But there has been a little bit of a cottage industry of like Jet Set Radio likes in the last few years in sort of like the indie space. Some of them have been good, some of them have been not so good. But it's interesting to sort of see the way the culture has reacted to both this game and the music from. Like it's a really interesting sort of throwback sensibility, I suppose.
Yeah, that's interesting you say that. I forgot about the fact there have been a few quote unquote spiritual successors that have come out. Yeah, just in the last few years. Even 2023 had called Bomb Rush Cyberfunk, which was worked on by Hideki.
Yeah. Probably the best of them, I would say, is Bomb Rush Cyberfunk. The other one that was like Hover Revolt of Gamers, which was not good, but it did have a couple of Hideki Naganuma tracks, and they were pretty decent. But there's been a few other ones, and even stuff like Lethal League. which he did music for as well, which is sort of like borrowing from the style, even if not necessarily the gameplay. So there has been a lot of it, but I suppose Naganuma is the funky uncle. Like his Twitter account, I think, was probably one of the ones that a lot of people sort of found early on, because he would just do a lot of shit posting, which for like Japanese devs, Japanese sort of game people wasn't a thing that they would tend to do on English Twitter a lot. So he sort of he found himself a little bit of a niche following on Twitter through that.
Yeah, he's got some good posts. He's posted trans rights, so we will forever stand. And he's flirted with some controversy. It's just been like talking about perhaps a girls of questionable age having a funky uncle, and everybody was like, "Hideki Naganuma, pull back," and he pulled back. And
My
all
God.
was well. The other thing the other idea this game introduced to me is, we were all already doing it, but this the idea of the aesthetic of putting on your headphones and going and tuning everything else out and locking in and becoming the protagonist of your own reality. I feel like every track in this is something pumping through your headphones as you go and fight the cops, and it's I think it's a fun way to frame the soundtrack. It's certainly nothing mind blowing, but it works really well for the game that it is. Kind of in the same way that GTA 3 revolutionized listening to your car radio.
Mm. Yeah, definitely. I suppose the biggest difference between this and, like, say, a lot of the sports games and extreme sports games that would have done the same thing is just sort of the lack of licensed music. Like, these are all original tracks. There's some licensed tracks in the
Sampler?
in Future and in the sampler. I'm not sure if those ever made it into the game. They're not in my copy of the game, but it's entirely possible they ended up on like a US version, because that was something that they would do at the time, where like US versions of games would just get would just get Dragula added into them for no particular reason.
Yep.
But yeah, like the genres then are sort of like a very, very based on like hip hop, primarily a lot of like turntablism and stuff, but like not fully hip hop either. It's very much its own thing. Like there's a couple of artists that do similar music to this that have sort of come later, but like to my ear, Hideki Naganuma is the guy who started this sort of breakbeat funk genre that he sort of become most associated with, and like there's other composers on this soundtrack. Richard Jacques has a track that's very similar and sort of does I've mentioned on his episode that we did that, like, he's a bit of a musical chameleon, so he was able to copy that style pretty well. But like there's definitely like that sort of transplanted hip hop culture that's sort of being then fed back to the US through this game, which is sort of an interesting sort of way to experience this kind of music.
Yeah. One interesting thing just about the genre, it's got nothing to do with reality, but in the game, when they either introducing to everything, and like Professor K, who is the guy the DJ for Jet Set Radio, the radio station in the game, like he's playing all this music, but their concept, as far as they say, is that he's spinning 24/7 hardcore music, and I'm like, this isn't hardcore. This is good music, but hardcore is a different genre, people.
Very much so, yeah. I don't think he means hardcore in that way, but yeah, I suppose it is worth noting that, like, in game, this music is sort of the music of that universe. So, like, that is a sort of there's a conceit there to it, and Professor K is a very, very cool character. He's like, sort of like the DJ in the Warriors. This sort of like he's commenting on the events of the movie. or not the movie, he's commenting on the events of the game, sort of like a bit of a Greek chorus kind of thing going on with him. You know, like in between your scenes and stuff, you get like him giving updates on what's going on and stuff like that. Yeah, so I'd actually completely forgotten about that aspect of it, so it's a good thing you brought it up. It's a cool little conceit. But yeah, I think we'll jump into the first block of tracks. So let me pull up my notes here. So I have 3 tracks here from Hideki Naganuma. First one is called Sneakman. Then we have That's Enough. And finally, we have Sweet Soul Brother.
Understand what's going on here.
Give me a break, give me a break. Give me a break, give me a break.
Understand what's going on here.
The music just turns me on.
at you.
It's probably not the most productive avenue to go down, but I suppose something I do want to talk about. So, I mentioned in the previous block just about how like there's a lack of the lack of licensed track on this, but all of these tracks are just completely put together of samples.
Yes.
There's very little there's some original music played on it. It's hard to say for sure, but like pretty much everything in these tracks is just completely put together from samples. Like you can really go down a rabbit hole. There's a bunch of YouTube videos breaking down like all the various samples used for these songs. But like, yeah, it's sort of amazing how these were put together, frankly.
Yeah, that's actually a huge part of what why I love a lot of this music. Like, I like the music to begin with, but you mentioned going down a rabbit hole. I went down a rabbit hole quite a long time ago, and it's funny. I've never actually thought to check out YouTube videos for like what other people talk about. I love this website called whosampled.com.
I'm currently looking at the page for that. Yeah.
And anytime I hear a song and there's something in it that I can recognize as something that's sampled from something, I'm like, I immediately go and I'm like, what's in here? And it doesn't always have everything, especially with newer stuff. It takes time. It's because it's all user generated. But for the Jet Set Radio music, there is so much like Funky Dealer, which I know we'll talk about later, is the one that actually started me down this rabbit hole, and there's so much cool stuff in there. Like I'm glad I'm glad to hear that you have it open too, because it's just it's so much information, but it's also really cool to see that they're pulling from like movies from 1958 and stuff, and it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, so I was looking like Roger Ramjet, which is I feel like a cartoon that I saw when I was a kid, when there was like 3 TV channels, and you know they didn't want to pay for anything good, so you had to watch these terrible cartoons. Sorry, go on, Reese. I interrupted you.
No, I'm sure in these kinds of conversations, I'm sure this is a rote point, but I think that, you know, within Hideki Naganuma's hands, it may all be samples, but there's something to be said for the choice of the samples. Nothing to even mention the arrangement. The lilt of I don't understand what's going on here is so perfect that like each discrete what's going on, I don't understand what's going on here, is laid in a way in the song that it's like Shakespeare to me. I don't there's a poetry to the way that guy says I don't understand what's going on here that I think you really need a musician's ear to be like, oh, I can put some fucking Roger Ramjet or whatever behind it to make this rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then like to take that, and I don't know whether or not he's messed with the pacing, or you know the what do they call it, the tempo of the sound clips to match the music, or if it's just the raw audio and it happens to match up, or if Hideki made it match up. He was like, I like the pacing of this phrase, and so like, you know, what's the beat from that, and then to kind of build I don't know that he did that specifically, but that in my mind those are the options, and like, it's cool.
Most people who would sort of use a lot of samples would tend to like pitch shift them, or like change the tempo a lot to sort of match what they're doing. Like it's pretty common to do that. And again, like you'll see that in those videos where they break it down. They'll show you where they've like, you know, he's like, oh, he's taken this sample and he's pitch shifted it down like 2 semitones, or he's taken this sample and he's pitch shifted it off, and he's, you know, like, or he's reversed the loop or something like that, where like you can. People who really know how to sort of work with the sample, like it's such an art form in and of itself. Like people will say, oh, it's just using other people's music, but it's like, you know, it's so far from that. And like you can hear it in this. Like there's songs like from like the samples from like Electric Light Orchestra in like Sweet Soul Brother, and like you'd be like, where could you possibly get Sweet Soul Brother from an Electric Light Orchestra song? As much as I love ELO, like they're a completely different genre, and you know, it's just being able to take those elements and sort of construct them in such a way that it's a completely new song. And yeah, it's such an amazing skill to have, frankly.
Yeah, and like the mixing, like on Sweet Soul Brother, just the mixing that they did on the line from he's a sweet soul brother, and just like chopping it up and what
Yeah.
he's doing, like absolutely, it's not just that he's taking other people's stuff and playing it, like he is masterfully including it and doing all this other stuff with it, and it's so much more than what is it, like the whole is greater than some of its parts type thing.
Mm. Absolutely, yeah. And like, there's so many samples in these. I don't know if we'll ever fully know like the entire sort of list of every track. Like, say that Sweet Soul Brother has 8 samples listed, 7 samples listed. There's way more than 7 samples in that song.
Oh yeah.
It's just like these are the ones that we found out and could verify, because like the 2 sample does have this thing of like you have to be able to verify it somehow. And I think like if you're a new user in particular, somebody has to double check your work basically. So like these are the ones that they've absolutely been able to verify. And I know a lot of people who do make sample based music can be very protective about where they get their samples from. That it's like it sort of becomes like a bit of a trade secret thing where like people have their secret sources, whether it be like certain movies or like certain music catalogs that they found, so there's a lot of that to it as well. So like we'll probably never fully know all of the samples that are being used in these, but it is I love to hear it regardless.
Oh,
Yeah, for sure.
absolutely. But I also love that I'm sure that there's a lot of really niche places you can go. But also you can have this Hollywood Edge sound effects library, medium exterior crowd applause, about 30 or 40 people with cheers and hoots. And it looks like the 2 different of the medium exterior crowd applause
Yeah.
was used for the end of the song, and it's great choice. It's really that song in particular, Sweet Soul Brother, is like very purposely like something very rousing. And like I think that were it less successful, the applause at the end would sound so stupid. But
Yeah.
I'm cheering, I'm hooting along with them. It feels perfect for the moment. It's great.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Uh,
Yeah, those sample libraries again, like that's such a massive thing for people who are making sort of breakbeat and anything that uses samples heavily, any sort of plunder phonics. The Let Mom Sleep has a bunch of samples from like a Norman Cook sample library that like is super rare. I know like a couple of DJs who have like been trying to find copies of that, and like it's very difficult to get a hold of. I think it might actually be on archive.org though. But it's just one of those things like these like sample libraries and like the BBC Sound Archive libraries that you could get from like the 70s and stuff, where they'd just be like field recordings and stuff like that. A bunch of those are like really common to find on who sampled. So like that kind of stuff is like such a part of the DNA of this sort of like breakbeat and sort of heavily sample based hip hop stuff from this time in particular. I think maybe a lot of samples now sort of coming from maybe I guess like less libraries and more just like this is what was with the DAW, like what was included in your copy of Fruity Loops or whatever people are using this day to make music.
Yeah.
That's definitely a thing too. And then like you get into the thing of like micro sampling as well, where people are using such small pieces of samples that they're just like they'll I think it was Justice. It said in like their first album they used like over 10,000 samples, and some of them were so small that nobody will ever find them. Because they're like quite literally like less than a second of like a sound being like pitch shifted or having itself sort of warped in some way. It's really interesting, just sort of people using this to create entirely new music. Again, to sort of not to go down too deep down that rabbit hole, but it is it's super fascinating to me.
Rabbit hole. What is a sample? No, okay. Sorry.
Don't do this to me, Reese.
There was a split second where I thought you were serious and was about to jump into an explanation. I was like, wait a minute. No.
just giving Tom a hard time. I think the whole discussion is it's even if it sounds like it's been done to death. I do think that there are interesting things that come up with like, what does the origin even matter when you're using a half second and twitching it about. But like I've heard those same arguments about how it's not valid, and it's just like my man Hideki proving them all wrong.
Yeah. So, and it's like, yeah, that's what was it like? Not even that long beforehand was like stuff like DJ Shadow's Introducing, which were like the first albums made entirely out of samples where there was like nothing original. And like DJ Shadow's Introducing is an incredible piece of work, like one of the best albums of the 90s. But like you think about that being, I think that was like 95 or 1996, so like less than 4 years later, Naganuma was out here making shit like this, and it's just like, it's the way music evolved once the sort of sampling became so much easier. When you didn't have to just like manually loop a record to get a break, where you could actually like, you could put a break into a sampler and then just have it loop it for the entire song. Like just even that being such a massive difference. Up until like the 90s, where like you could construct entire albums entirely out of samples, and again like completely original songs. So I suppose we've talked a bit about Hideki Naganuma, and we briefly mentioned Richard Jacques. So in the next block, I do have one of his tracks, and I do want to just talk about him because I do think he sort of gets left behind in the conversation about this game, because Naganuma's stuff is obviously so forward, and it's the stuff that sort of really jumps out at you. But like Richard Jacques has really sort of brought his A game to this soundtrack as well. He's got one or two on this one and a couple on Jet Set Radio Future. And yeah, just like a really good sort of matching of the sound that Naganuma was doing. I don't know if they sort of collaborated or not, sort of how it sort of shook out, but like obviously Richard Jacques was working a lot with Sega in the UK at the time. So again, like it's hard to sort of say how they sort of communicated, but it was cool to sort of see that sort of that cross-Atlantic or cross the Eurasian continent collaboration between these two guys. The other person I have a track from is a guy called Toronto, who is it's an alias for Tomonori Sawada. Who isn't a super prolific composer from what I could tell, but has done some Sega stuff. He did like a couple of Panzer Dragoon soundtracks and one of the Daytona soundtracks. So again, hard to say sort of what their contribution to it was overall, but I do like the tracks that he did, and he's got a couple of remixes on the Jet Set Radio Future soundtrack that I think are really good as well.
I mean, Richard Jacques is a beloved composer of the podcast, and I'm glad that we get to highlight him a bit. It is, I mean, I think the conversation Naganuma kind of rightfully drowns him out of the conversation, but it's still just like, oh, well, just a great contribution versus like a breakthrough work. It's I am less familiar with Toronto, except for the fact that Seattle is currently at war with them, but that's baseball talk. That's for a different podcast.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel similarly. Richard Jacques, I know him as the little Big Planet guy. I think I know on XVGM we've played a number of stuff by him, and his stuff. And as well as the things that Toronto does, I feel kind of, not that they blend into the soundtrack, but I think they work very well in the soundtrack. I think they have their own kind of style and identity, but I think it works really well with what Hideki was doing. And I mean, obviously, the next three tracks we're going to listen to, either we're going to prove me wrong or right. but yeah, it's hard to talk about the soundtrack without focusing on Hideki because of how much influence he had. But I mean, the stuff that you've got queued up here, they still rank pretty high in my my list of Jet Set tracks. So let's go.
Yeah, I would say that like the Toronto track is a little bit more housey than it is sort of the breakbeat, but like it does really feel of a piece with the rest of it, so it doesn't feel out of place even though the genre is not precisely the same. It's like it's definitely got more of a house vibe to it. But yeah, I suppose we'll jump into that block of tracks. So we've got first track from Hideki Naganuma is Rocket On. Then by Richard Jacques we have Everybody Jump Around. And then by Toronto we have Electric Toothbrush.
The most important part of dance is music. So now let us listen to the music and identify the beats.
1, 2, 3.
But that was too soft.
Get down.
Probably worth noting with that last one that I'd say that has maybe the least amount of samples of anything on the soundtrack. Seeing as we're talking about samples, like as I say, it's very very housey. So like it doesn't have a lot of break beats, doesn't have a lot going on. But I really really just love that. I love that synth hook. It's so good. It just always draws me in, and I'm just like grooving to it.
Is that a skating around song like the others?
I don't recall. Maybe I think maybe one of those ones that only plays in like a very specific spot. Because there's a few of those.
That's just kind of what I was wondering, because all the others I recognize immediately, and I don't remember that one.
Yeah, the that one might be more of like either like a menu thing or something. It's got that the electric toothbrush as well as everybody jump around. The one thing that I noted is that they both have kind of a lower energy than a lot of the other Hideki stuff, which is kind of how you can sort of tell the difference between the ones that Hideki did and the ones that weren't done. Like I feel like I've already forgotten his name, Jacques.
Richard
First
Jacques.
name Richard. That's
Richard,
the name. Yeah, I feel like Richard Jacques did a good job. I don't want to say that he was trying to like impersonate Hideki's style or like whether he was trying to mimic it or whatnot. But I feel like he did a decent job. But also, like it doesn't feel like Hideki. It feels like his own thing, and that's mostly because like there's a slightly lower energy to it. And then the Toronto song, I was like, oh, this has a similar energy to Everybody Jump Around, but you know, like you said, no samples that I could discern. And with it not being as kind of frenetic as the other stuff, it feels like something that is more either like menu music or maybe cutscene or something like that.
Yeah, it definitely has that vibe to it. I say, I wish I could remember where it shows up in the game. It's been a long time since I've actually played the game, to be honest with you. I think the last time I would have played it would have been when it was like released. It was released on Steam. But the Steam version has a save bug where you can't save the game. So I had to stop playing it because I couldn't figure out how to get it to save the game. Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. See, I've got it on Steam as well, and I have a save game.
Yeah.
And I went back to it.
Didn't affect everyone somehow.
Okay, well, so the bug that I have that makes the game unplayable is I can't do any of the graffiti. No combination of pushing, twisting, or pleading with my controller. Like it's just when I get into a graffiti scene, it's seemingly the things either pass or fail completely at random. Like I've put the controller down and watched it, and I've picked it up and tried doing things, and I've looked online and nobody else seems to have this problem. And I'm like, maybe it's my controller, so I tried other controllers, and maybe it's my install. I have no idea, but it's very frustrating.
Wow. No, it's yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I know that the save bug didn't affect everyone, but I've never heard of that particular bug.
Yeah.
I think probably the best way to play this, to play it right now, is maybe if you have like an Xbox 360 or if you have Xbox One backwards compatible. I know that it's being delisted, but if you already own it, you can still play it. But it's also, you know, it's easy to emulate the Dreamcast.
That's such a dire best way to play this.
I know. It's also very emulatable on the Dreamcast. You know, Dreamcast is a very easy system to emulate if you're so inclined. But like, yeah, it's definitely like worth playing as more of as a curiosity, I think, than anything else at this point. I've mentioned earlier, I don't think the gameplay holds up that strongly, even though like it is enjoyable to be in the world and sort of experience it that way anyway. It's just, especially like the later levels, like the navigation and stuff gets so tricky, and the controls do not really allow for a lot of very intricate gameplay. But I suppose, yeah, we mentioned it briefly a couple of times. So the next block of tracks is going to be coming from Jet Set Radio Future. I'm much more familiar with this game, as I mentioned. This is the one I played when it came out on the original Xbox. and yeah, that was the one that sort of really got me interested. It's very much the same kind of game, but they did improve the controls a little bit, and just even the addition of a second analog stick to be able to control your camera while you're moving around the maps makes like navigation and stuff so much easier. Are both of you familiar with this one, or did you skip it?
I'm pretty sure I played a bit of this. This was the one on the Xbox, yeah?
Yeah, on the original Xbox.
Yeah. Because they simplified it a bit too. I know that's actually, I don't know that I'd call it an argument, but it's a conversation that my wife and I have had because she also loves this game, and it's just the original game on the Dreamcast was more challenging. I mean, obviously because the controls, but also the graffiti stuff was more complicated, and they simplified it on this, which kind of made it more accessible, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
For me, I had played so much of the original Jet Grind Radio that I came to this, and even though it's actually not that different, I was like, "This is not Jet Grind Radio. I just want Jet Grind Radio exactly how it plays, worse with 12 more Hideki Naganuma songs." Which I mean, obviously the soundtrack I loved, and I bought the soundtrack, and I paid some insane price for it later on, and of course promptly lost it.
No.
But
Awful.
yeah, it's, and so I have no real idea of this as a game, but I've listened to the soundtrack enough that I get some of the tracks confused between the two.
Oh, completely understandable. Like when we listen to that as like Funky Dealer, like that's to when I was like, surely that's a song from the first game, but no, it's actually from the second game.
The same thing.
Yeah, the second game is a little bit more musically diverse, and it adds some. It does add some more licensed tracks and some like commissioned tracks. I'm going to say I don't know how to describe them. We'll talk a little bit about those after in the next break, because there's some sort of interesting back and forth on that. But like just musically, I do think it's a little bit more diverse. It's obviously got like the concept of love, which I think has sort of become the Hideki Naganuma track. Like that's a track that where like people say that to him on Twitter, like that's the whole understand thing just all comes from there. Like so it is sort of his signature track in a lot of ways, and I think part of that is because obviously it being on the Xbox, and I think it was a pack-in. So you got like the original release was, as I mentioned, this and Sega GT Rally, and I don't think anybody played that rally game, but they definitely played this. So like that, the fact that this was the pack-in, I think, sort of gives a lot of people of a certain age a lot of affection for this game. Even if I suppose it does compromise some things from the original. Sorry, Reese.
It's okay.
Yeah, but like it was definitely the one that I would always come back to again, just because it is on backwards compatibility. So like being able to put the disc into my Xbox 360 and just play that when I was stoned or drunk was always just a nice way to close out a night. So like it was just one of those games that sort of came with me. I still have my copy that I got back in like 2004 or whatever, whenever this came out. Or was it 2002? Jesus Christ. To me, it feels like there was a much bigger time gap between these two games coming out, honestly. I know I did. I got my Xbox a little bit later as well, so that might be why I have that in my brain too.
I do feel the same way. It feels like 35 years passed between the two games.
Yeah. And probably, I suppose, worth discussing the Xbox as a sequel to the Dreamcast in a lot of ways. Like so many games either got like remakes or sequels on the Xbox. It was an interesting time for Sega, even just down to like the controller design being very similar to the Dreamcast. Like I was always like, and even like obviously say the Dreamcast having Windows on it at the time as well. Like there was definitely some cross pollination between Sega and Microsoft. But like just like this, and obviously Sega GT, and was it Gun Valkyrie? That was a Sega. That was one that was like originally supposed to be released on the Dreamcast, but then was cancelled because the Dreamcast ate shit, and then like they retooled that for the Xbox. There was a couple of other games, and like Phantasy Star Online. That's obviously one of the bigger ones that would come out on this. Like there's like. And I know, like obviously you had like Sonic Sonic Adventure 2 on the GameCube, being one of the sort of major ones that went on other consoles as well. But you know, the Xbox really did feel like a successor to the Dreamcast in a lot of ways, and this is one of the big reasons for it, I think. Did the Xbox get Choo Choo Rocket actually? Come to think of it,
I don't know.
Does anyone remember?
I only ever saw Choo Choo Rocket on the Dreamcast.
I'm sure it got it on an Xbox. Oh no, it was a Live Arcade one. So that was a little bit later, but yeah. We'll jump into the next block of tracks anyway, because it's quite a long one. So this is probably going to be the longest block. So I have 5 tracks. One from Richard Jacques, 4 from Hideki Naganuma. So the first one from Richard Jacques is Bokfresh. Then we have The Concept of Love, Funky Dealer, Teknopathic, Like It, Like This, Like That.
Ladies and gentlemen, 4-4's the point, mark 4. Ace, deuce, scrap, wants 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 4. Scrap, wants 4. Who wants the hard 4? 5 wants 4.
Check me out, y'all.
9 a winner, got a hot hand. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. 9 a winner, got a hot hand. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. 4, and he made it the hard way. Pay the front line, take the hard. You have a shooter and a good one. Coming out for a new point. Get your bets down, ladies and gentlemen. He's a rolling point is 9. Place 9. Place 9. 8 shooting for 9. 5 shooting for 9. He's a rolling point is 9. Place 9. 8 shooting for 9. 5 shooting for 9. Who wants to come? 6 to point.
Check me out, y'all.
9 a winner. Got a hot hand. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. 9 a winner. Got a hot hand. Place your bets. Place your bets. Who wants to come? 6 to point. Who wants to come? 6 to point. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen.
So funky. So funky. Check me out, y'all.
8 shooting for 9. 5 shooting for 9. He's a rolling point is 9. Place 9. 8 shooting for 9. 5 shooting for 9. Who wants to come? Place 6.
So funky. So funky.
Coming out again for a new point.
So funky.
Bets down, ladies and gentlemen. Who wants the hard 4?
So funky.
5 wants 4.
Check me out, y'all.
4 4's the point. Mark Mark 4. Ace, deuce, trap, Mark 4. Ace, deuce, deuce. Trap, 1. 9 a winner. Got a hot hand. 9 a winner. Got a hot hand. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. 9 a winner. Got a hot hand. 9 a winner. Got a hot hand. Who wants to come? Check me out, Doc. 9 a winner. Got a hot hand. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. 9 a winner. Got a hot hand. Place your bets. 9 a winner. Pay the front line, take the don'ts. He's coming out again for a new point. Get your bets down, ladies and gentlemen. 4 4's the point, Mark 4. Ace, deuce, who wants to come? 6 the point, who wants to come? 6 the point, who wants to come? 6 the point. Play 6. Stop. Play your games. Exchanging names. Stop playing games. Run exchanging names. Stop playing games. Run exchanging names. That is fair and shot, and you know I'm the reason why. Games, but I'm running, exchanging names. You've been taking much too long, trying to find what's going on. Wasting all my precious time while you're making up your mind. You think you're really in the know, waiting for the sign to blow. I've been waving that green flag and you're still ain't this, like that, like this, like that, like that.
I don't like it. Not at all.
I think to sort of to go back to something you were saying in the previous break, Justin, like you mentioned sort of the difference between the Richard Jacques and the Toronto tracks and Hideki Naganuma's tracks, and like they're definitely a lot busier in the first game, but I do think by this they sort of there's as I said a little bit more musical diversity in this. Like say that last track, you know, is a little bit more laid back compared to some of the more energetic or hyperactive tracks. But I do think we should probably camp out on Funky Dealer a bit because what a fucking masterclass in just like, you know, like breaking up samples and like turning it into like, you know, just taking this sort of dealer call sample from like a sample library, and then just like turning that into like it's this entirely new vocal arrangement. It's absolutely wild.
Well, that's the thing that blew me away. Like that was why this track was the one that kind of sent me down the rabbit hole, because this track is literally just like a royalty-free. Well, I don't know if it's really royalty-free, but that the dealer calls that dice throws thing is from another one of the Hollywood Edge sound effects libraries of sounds, and like that is the focus of the entire. He made an entire song out of what's supposed to be a background noise used in a casino scene for any Hollywood film, and he was just like, yeah, you know what, whole song, bet. And like it blew me away because I was convinced it was like this has got to be from a movie, like this has got to be like the focus of like a James Bond movie. No, not even. It's just background stuff for generic casino, and that's when I was just like, wow, this guy is a genius, like 100%, like to be able to do that. I mean, you've got that, and then the one you played right after it, Teknopathetic, does a similar thing, slightly to a lesser extent, but again, you've just got that RoboTrap sample is the hook and everything, and like the primary focus, and everything's kind of built around that. But again, like Funky Dealer is what made me like stop and go, holy shit.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the things when you sort of realize what he's doing, it's like it'll just completely blow you away. Because even like, you know, there are elements of that in like Let Mom Sleep and the Concept of Love even as well, where like he takes like a couple of vocal samples and sort of flips them in really interesting ways. But I do think that like Funky Dealer is just like a masterclass in doing that. It's just and we do have to talk about the Concept of Love as well, because you know that as I mentioned, that is the iconic track from this, definitely his signature track, and that sample, the vocal sample from that, I think again culled from a sample library, but it was a speech. I forget who by. I wish I could remember who it's by.
Carmichael.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, yeah. Like the way that like. He found a lot of these too, because we've discussed it before, is his use of a Malcolm X speech in the boss music for Sonic Rush. You know, just like taking these incredibly weird sources, not weird, but just like unexpected sources for things, and just like turning them into the sort of the focal point of a very interesting arrangement is something that he does. I don't think anybody does better than him, frankly. But I suppose something I should discuss a little bit as well. We sort of, I guess I touched on it earlier on. Is again, it's just like the intersection of like mainstream music with video game music in this soundtrack in particular. like is really really interesting to me, and it's one of those ones that sort of sent me down a lot of weird rabbit holes. And like it's something we're gonna probably discuss for the coming up block now is like the license tracks. So I have tracks here from a Jet Set Radio music sampler, or Jet Set Radio Future music sampler. So it was the last release on Grand Royal Records. Are either of you familiar with what Grand Royal Records is?
Oh,
No.
No? Okay. So Grand Royal Records was the Beastie Boys record label. And in the 90s, like they had like a whole thing of like releasing like videos, and they had a magazine and everything. Like Grand Royal was a big thing if you were a young nerd like me who was really into the Beastie Boys. But like this was the very last release on that record label before it went defunct. So that's obviously important in and of itself, but there's a bunch of tracks on the licensed soundtrack and on that sampler from a group called the Latch Brothers. So the Latch Brothers are Mike D from the Beastie Boys and two guys who I've never really heard of outside of the Latch Brothers, called Kenny Salcido and Chris Wagner. And they contributed like 4 tracks to this soundtrack, plus a couple of remixes. And they like you can go online, you can find pictures of them with like the devs of Jet Set Radio when they would fly over to meet them and stuff like that. Like it's a really, again, like a really interesting intersection of like mainstream music and video game music, and something that Sega I think was sort of cultivating at the time, quite from what I could tell. Just like a lot of, and like a lot of other places were doing it too, just sort of like trying to bring in sort of mainstream music recognition to video game soundtracks. Obviously, we've talked about the PlayStation and how that sort of made a massive inroad in sort of like getting a lot of licensed music from like dance artists from the UK in particular, like Chemical Brothers and The Prodigy and stuff like that. But like Sega then was obviously trying to take more of a hip hop approach to that, I think, as well, by sort of reaching out to literally people from the Beastie Boys to do music for this soundtrack. And like the Latch Brothers, pretty much their entire discography exists on this sampler CD. They did a couple of other tracks and a couple of other remixes that are out there, but like this is pretty much all the music they ever produced. So if you're a Beastie Boys head, you need to track down this CD, frankly, because it's some music that Mike D made that like would never otherwise have been heard, I imagine. It's very fascinating to me. Sorry, I rattled on a little bit long about that one, but yeah.
No, it's fascinating.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so like again, that there was a lot of licensed tracks on Jet Set Radio Future that they're not included on the official soundtrack for whatever reason, but a lot of them can be found on that sampler CD. The couple of other ones that are on there, the one that I really probably like the best is Aisle 10 by Scapegoat Wax.
Yes.
A really fun hip hop track. I didn't include it here again. I was just this has been one of those ones where I really struggled to cut tracks from it, and I wanted to include it, but I just didn't think it fit with the vibe of the episode. But it is a really cool sort of like really fun little hip hop track by a group that probably otherwise nobody would ever remember. And I like that sort of aspect to a lot of these soundtracks, that they're sort of a lot of soundtracks like this, and even like if you look at like mainstream games, like the whole phenomenon, like the FIFA soundtrack or the Madden soundtrack, where they're very much sort of concerned with what's popular at the time, and like you'll often find that like a band will get a song on one of these soundtracks, and it'll be the only song that they're ever going to be known for. In many cases, they're like they're a band that maybe released one album or a couple of EPs in an album and never did anything again. But I'm always really fascinated by these sort of by these archives of their music sort of being sort of held up just because people continue to play video games and have these memories of playing Madden when they were 16 or whatever, and listening to to like some obscure fucking Data Rock song or something that is never going to appear on anyone else's radar other than that.
I think we all have examples of that, even for some things where you're just like, oh, that's the band on, I know so many people who just talk about you know Goldfinger as
Mm.
the only song they ever released was Superman. And like I have a memory of them being, a much broader phenomenon on punk, but now it seems like that's their entire legacy.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yeah. Or even just like the Offspring, with speaking of Crazy Taxi, as we were talking about it earlier. I feel like there's probably a non-insignificant amount of people whose only experience with the Offspring is just knowing yeah.
Yeah. I will say,
And not even the full song, because like you can't hear the full song. It doesn't play the whole song.
But as far as this album, this music sampler goes, the one thing that I remember I got off of this, it was Chibo Mato. I would not have like gotten into them had it not been for this music sampler.
Oh, excellent! Yeah, no, they've a couple of good tracks on this soundtrack as well. Yeah, as Birthday Cake is the main one that I remember.
Yeah,
that's a great one. But then there's some other artists then, like Guitar Vader. I don't know if they're on the sampler or if they're on the main soundtrack. I forget exactly, but yeah, there's a remix by Hideki Naganuma for one of the Guitar Vader tracks. Yeah, and it's just like, again, it's just like a really sort of interesting snapshot of some sort of like underground music at the time. And it was really cool to sort of say, we're like, okay, we're going to go over to Grand Royal Records and sort of try and get the guys from the Beastie Boys to give us some music. I guess we'll jump into the last block of tracks anyways. So with that, so I have two tracks from the Latch brothers. First one is Ill Victory Beat, and then Count Latchula. Then I have a remix of Let Mom Sleep by Richard Jacques, called Richard Jacques No Sleep Remix. Then I have a remix of The Concept of Love. I forgot to even discuss this. So Ollie King, are either of you familiar with Ollie King?
I am familiar. I know of it. That's it.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay, so briefly, it was an arcade game by Sega. That was like a downhill skateboarding game where you had like a physical skateboard as part of the arcade machine. So you had to do tricks on the skateboard, sort of think like Tony Hawk Ride, but much earlier. So like, yeah, you held onto the bars, these handlebars, and you did like downhill skateboarding. But possibly the most notable thing about it is the fact that the whole soundtrack's by Hideki Naganuma, and one of those tracks is a remix of The Concept of Love. So I always enjoy including a funny remix or two. So I pulled that one in from that soundtrack, but definitely worth checking out that soundtrack on its own if you like Hideki Naganuma. So that one is The Concept of Love, Concept of Passion mix from Ollie King.
This is not reset. Coming out in your most challenging round yet. Coming out in your most challenging round yet. This is not reset. ladies and gentlemen. Represent, 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 we got all this and more in store. Cook it up hot beat. Cook it up hot beat. Hot beat. Cook it up hot beat. Cook it up hot beat. Cook it up hot beat. Bubble until it goes pop like. Until it goes pop like bang drop. Bubble until it goes pop like bubble until it goes pop 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 pop. Beat up lower beat. Beat up lower beat. Beat up lower beat up bubble until it goes pop. Beat up lower beat.
Would you stop playing with that
Let's look at the funk.
This is most disturbing. I'm trying to get to sleep. I'm trying to get to sleep. Would you stop playing with that radio, y'all? I'm trying to get to sleep. Sleep, sleep, sleep.
Understand the concept of love. Understand the concept of love. Understand the concept of love.
fucking love that remix. Just just again taking down the original and just tweaking it slightly, adding the violin samples and stuff like that. It's a really cool little remix. I'm never going to play that game. I feel like it's quite difficult to emulate, and Reese said it was very expensive, so probably never going to play it. But the soundtrack is definitely worth tracking down if you like Hideki Naganuma. The tracks from the Latch brothers just very cool. Really like just the whole vibe of them, like very sort of early 2000s hip hop. I think it's just again a really sort of cool little sort of window into that particular time in underground music.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like you had mentioned that the those tracks were by Mike D from the Beastie Boys, and I didn't recognize the names of them. Like I know that they were on the soundtrack, but I was like, oh, I wonder which tracks these are, because I always remember there being a handful of tracks that I just wasn't as into, and then as soon as they played, I was like, oh, these weren't the tracks that I wasn't into. Like, and now I understand why I like them, because I do like the Beastie Boys. I just never knew that it was like a side project like that. So I was excited to hear, like, get that extra context, and like, oh, this is like now another level of appreciation I have.
Yeah. Yeah, again, like that's why I like digging into this kind of stuff and just sort of finding it, is just because you get to just that extra level of appreciation for something when you find out like the ins and outs of it. Yeah, and again, like this is part of the joy of of this podcast to me. Sometimes it's just like this sort of exploring music is always something I always do. Like I cannot help myself when I find music. I'm like, I start looking into it, and I'm just like, I start finding those little sort of those connections, the little webs of between artists and between styles and genres and stuff like that. I just can't help myself. And the podcast helps me exercise that a lot, I think, as well.
One of my great joys of the podcast is listening to these incredible fucking remixes rather, that Tom finds. That the Concept of Love remix, I am just now recovering from. Such a really what you want out of a remix. Something, it feels totally different, but like just elevates everything that you like about it into a new and weird and fun place. I'm definitely putting that on some playlists.
Yeah, I'd never heard that remix before, and I don't know if I've ever seen that Ollie King game, so who knows if I ever really even had the opportunity. But yeah, I have to agree that remix slaps hard. I'm very, very happy to have been introduced to that.
Excellent. I get like that's why I like digging out these fun little remixes and finding the sort of the weird shit that people have done. It's just, and it's bringing that joy to other people is always something that I love to do as well. So definitely mission accomplished on that, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's difficult for me to search for Ollie King stuff because there's a guy named Ollie King who made a song called "I Kissed a Boy," and so I'm just like, "Did you kiss a boy on the arcade machine? That sounds hot."
Oh yeah, there's also a Teknopathetic remix on it as well. Definitely worth checking out. There's like 10 tracks on it, but yeah, really strong soundtrack. If you can track it down, and it's on Spotify, I think, as well. So yeah, I suppose we'll start to finish up with that. Thank you again, Justin, for joining us. It was a real pleasure. Have you any final thoughts on Jet Set Radio Future, or Hideki Naganuma, or anything else before we go?
Oh man, what is there to say that hasn't already been said? No, so I mean, aside from just like having come into this already excited about the game and the music, and then also getting to pick up some stuff that I hadn't heard and that I wasn't familiar with, and as well as information that I didn't previously have. Like I really enjoyed being on. Thank you guys so much for thank you both for inviting me here. I think the only note that I'd taken that I really wanted to touch back on was the song "Like It Like This Like That." that was. I remember listening to that song. That was one of the first times I remember hearing a song with like easily recognizable samples, and even though they're really not, but when you hear it, there's that I like it sample, which is very obviously Looney Tunes, and I had gone into it thinking, oh, like it's Daffy, and after actually looking into it from that website, who sampled, it's not Daffy. It is Mel Blanc who voices Daffy, but it's a character named Benny who's a cat, but it's that same Daffy voice. So like another one of those weird like rabbit hole things of like, oh, I know what this is, or well, I thought I did, and then oh, what's this, what's that, and it's just. Hideki has such a way with samples that many people have tried and will continue to try to replicate, and I don't know that anybody can really reach the same heights. What a master.
Absolutely. Fully agree. Reese, any thoughts?
I mean, it fucking bangs. I don't have anything.
Yeah,
extra to
I
say.
mean, look, so sometimes that's all we have to say about something as well, and that's good enough.
Yeah, I'd highly recommend checking out these soundtracks in full. It's some of them I'm like, oh, you got to play the game, and I do think you do have to play the game because it's something that I think has a place in history that's tough to appreciate until you go down to it, and you're like, this is there was nothing really else like this at the time. Not in terms necessarily of gameplay, but of the game experience of going through and this, I think, kind of they like authentically counterculture story, like not necessarily like authentically about like real history necessarily, but like it feels way more in line than something like Tony Hawk was like, and Tony Hawk bangs, don't get me wrong, but like, you look at some of the silliness in like Tony Hawk Underground, that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
and it's there. And so I don't know. Check it out. Check all this out. Just listen to the concept of love on repeat until the next podcast episode comes out.
Also a fine choice, yeah. Yeah, no, I can't, yeah. Gotta agree with all that. Yeah, just the whole sort of like everything about this game, despite there definitely some shortcomings, or these games, like there are shortcomings, but like the whole package put together, like just the art, the music, the whole vibe is very, very it's just very appealing. And again, just the sort of like leaning into youth culture of the sort of late 90s, early 2000s in video games is really interesting to me. I guess because I was sort of part of that culture being targeted at the time. So it's it does sort of it tickles my nostalgia as well. But yeah, again, thanks, Justin. If you want to do any plugs, you can tell people where to find you online, where they can listen to your very fine podcast and so forth. One which both me and Reese have been on, I should say.
Yes. Yeah, XVGM Radio, xvgmradio.com is our main website. You can find us on any of the podcatchers. I'm pretty sure we're on like Spotify. I used to use Google Podcasts, doesn't exist anymore. So Amazon or wherever fine podcasts are sold and or freely subscribed to. But yeah, we had you both on an episode a while ago. Which one was that?
The product placement.
Yeah,
yes,
Pepsi
product
ban.
placement VGM. Pepsi ban. But yeah,
Check out the Pepsi Man episode though. We dug in for some good tracks on that one.
we really did.
Yeah.
There was some fantastic things that everybody found. I had a lot of fun with that episode, and you both had such you brought your A game, I will say.
Thank you. Really appreciate your time and effort coming on here. It's been a pleasure for a high water episode as far as I'm concerned.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, thanks again.
Fantastic,
Yeah, thank you guys.
Reese, what do you got going on at the moment?
My usual stuff. It's in the show notes.
All of the show notes. Yeah. As for ourselves, you can find us at Patreon, if you want to give us a bit of money just to help with hosting costs and stuff like that. You can get some bonus episodes and some higher bitrate episode downloads if you want a little bit of higher quality music on those downloads. That's on patreon.com/CRT Sound System. You can find our socials. We're pretty much just on Blue Sky. So you can find CRT Sound System on Blue Sky. You can follow me at 4push at Blue Sky. Come and hang out in our Discord if you want to just hang out, talk about video game music, talk about Hideki Naganuma. If you want to come on the show, send me a message, send Reese a message. We're always happy to have people on the show to come and talk about whatever the hell they're really into.
Hideki Naganuma, come on the show.
Hideki Naganuma, come on the show, yeah.
That'd be awesome.
For sure. That would be. So we're just going to go out with one last track, which is called Grace and Glory from the first Jet Set Radio or Jet Grind Radio. Thank you again, Justin. Thank you, Reese, as always. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Have a good one.
Bye.
Cheers.
flips a track, flip the raps, flips a track, flip the raps, flips a track. Flip the raps, flips a track, flip the raps, flips a track, flip the raps, flips a track. Flip the raps.